A strange book appears in 16th century Germany, filled with blazing skies, surreal beasts, and astonishing wonders. Was it merely artistic fantasy, or a warning the world ignored? Hidden away in private collections for centuries, the Augsburg Book of Miracles is unlike anything ever discovered. A stunning manuscript from the Renaissance, it's filled with vivid illustrations of supernatural signs, celestial events, and mysterious happenings across history, many of which people believed were glimpses of what was yet to come. In today's deep dive, we'll uncover the secrets of this forgotten manuscript, its origins, stunning artwork, and why it was created during one of Europe's most turbulent centuries. We'll examine the strange events it depicts, the beliefs that shaped it, and ask, did this book try to predict the future? This is a journey through history, art, and mystery. And once we open its pages, there's no going back. Let's set the scene. It's the mid-1500s in Augsburg, Germany, one of the wealthiest cities in the Holy Roman Empire. The world is changing rapidly. The Protestant Reformation has sparked widespread religious debate. New lands are being discovered. Science is emerging, but so is fear. People are looking to the skies for answers. And what they report are not ordinary things. In the heavens, blazing comets, fiery halos, rings of light. On the earth, strange weather, unusual animals, reports of rare celestial alignments. In towns and cities, spectacles that no one can explain. To many, these were more than curious occurrences. They were meaningful, they were signs. And someone in Augsburg decided to document them all in a book that has puzzled and fascinated scholars for decades. The book begins with scenes from the beginning of time, creation, the flood, and moves through centuries of notable events, before concluding with a symbolic look at how people in the 1500s imagine the end of time. But it's not just the content that makes the book powerful. It's the presentation. Every page is fully illustrated, using bold watercolors and dramatic compositions. There are no plain margins. Each image consumes the entire sheet, painted in vivid hues, dark skies, glowing stars, burning clouds. The visual effect is surreal and intense. It's not a book you simply read. It's a book that draws you in. The book contains no official title page, no signature, no known author. But based on the art style and materials, experts believe it was created between 1545 and 1552 by artists working in Augsburg. Two names are often suggested. One is Hans Bergmayer the Younger, a painter from a well-known family. The other is Heinrich Voither the Younger, a respected illustrator and engraver. Their influence is visible in the precise brushwork, the dramatic skies, and the careful attention to period details. But it's likely this wasn't the work of just one person. It may have been produced by a small team, artists, scribes, and scholars, who were inspired to collect and illustrate signs they believed were too important to ignore. So what inspired them to do it? The mid-1500s were a time of intense change and uncertainty. Religious reform was sweeping across Europe. Traditional institutions were being questioned. People were worried about their futures. Scientific knowledge was just beginning to grow, but superstition remained strong. Rare celestial events, like comets, eclipses, or bright meteor showers, were widely believed to be messages, warnings, clues about what was to come. And many scholars of the time believed they were living in the final chapter of history. Some thought the major changes they were witnessing were part of a larger plan, one that had been written long before. This belief led to a growing interest in collecting and interpreting strange events, both from the past and from current news. That's what the Book of Miracles represents, a visual catalog of the inexplicable, a private archive of the unusual, and maybe a map of the future. Let's explore the contents. Folio 1 begins with the story of Noah's Arkansas floodwaters rise. The skies are filled with clouds, and the ark floats through an endless sea. It sets the tone, a world shaped by powerful forces beyond human control. Folio 13 shows a burning city beneath a stormy sky. The meaning is unclear. Is it an ancient tale, a cautionary vision, or a reflection of events the creators had witnessed? Folio 37 features a blazing object streaking across the sky, labeled as a comet from the year 1007. Below, farmers and villagers look up in awe. The scene is silent, but the emotion is loud. Folio 80 depicts a strange creature scene in Saxony. Part fish, part bird, part human. There's no explanation, just the date and place. What did people really see? Was it a myth? A misunderstood animal? A symbolic representation? Folio 145 presents a sky with 5 suns over the German city of Leipzig in 1551. This was likely a rare weather phenomenon, what we now call sundogs. But to 16th century eyes, it was anything but ordinary. Each page in the book tells a story, not just about what was seen, but about how it was felt. But here's the deeper question. In a world before cameras, before satellites, before modern science, how could people tell the difference between natural and unnatural? Between truth and interpretation? Was every strange cloud, every thunderstorm, every unfamiliar animal a real sign? Or were people searching so desperately for meaning, they began to see patterns that weren't there? The Book of Miracles doesn't just record events. It reflects how people saw the world. A world full of meaning. A world full of wonder and warning. Modern science gives us names for many of the things shown in the book. Comets, once feared, are now understood as icy bodies with predictable orbits. Unusual lights in the sky, now explained by atmospheric optics. Unidentified animals, perhaps exotic species, or the result of rare mutations. Mysterious weather, now tracked and explained in detail. But the people of the 1500s had a different lens. They interpreted the unknown through faith, fear, and tradition. They didn't just observe, they responded with art, with writing, and with books like this. Visually, the illustrations are masterful. The colors shift depending on the mood, dark grays and purples for danger, bright reds and golds for intense activity, pale yellows for strange light. One page might show an eclipse turning day into night. Another might depict birds flying backward. Another, a figure with no face, perhaps symbolizing the unknown. As you turn the pages, you're taken from ancient legends to reports that were barely a year old at the time of the book's creation. And finally, you arrive at something much more symbolic. The final portion of the book shifts its tone entirely. It dives into symbolic depictions of future events, what many at the time believed could be the final chapter of history. The illustrations now depict scenes inspired by the last book of the Bible, filled with symbolic figures and cosmic moments. There are stars falling from the sky, crowds gathering under a dark sun, figures representing balance and judgment. These images don't use violence or fear to get their point across. Instead, they rely on symbolism, scale, color, and contrast. It's clear that the book's creators weren't just copying old stories. They were asking questions, sharing ideas, inviting reflection. The final image? A quiet, composed figure surrounded by light. An ending, or a new beginning. The Augsburg Book of Miracles is more than just a manuscript. It's a time capsule, a mirror, reflecting how one generation tried to understand the world around them. It combines history, imagination, faith, and artistry. It captures the moment when ancient beliefs met emerging science, when people still searched the skies for answers, wondering if the world was ending or if something greater was unfolding. Its pages ask us not just what these events meant in the past, but what they mean to us now. If you found this story fascinating, the next video on screen will take you deeper into another mysterious manuscript lost to time. Click to continue your journey through history's strangest books.